What you saying, ladies and gents? It's your boy Cat Sam, and today we are back for our week 16 predictions. And yeah, this has been a fast turnaround, so let's get right into it. And our first game of this week is where 15th place Palace hosts 3rd place Leicester. And to be honest, I think this is a really easy one to call. When we look at recent form, Palace are winless in 4 games now. And not only that, they've shipped 10 goals in their last 2 games. And Leicester in pretty good form, only losing 1 in their last 5. And when we look at last season when the two clubs met, Palace didn't score once and Leicester scored 5. So I'm going to go for a Leicester 2-1 away win. And our next game is where 8th place Chelsea hosts 7th place Villa. And we know Chelsea are unreal at home, but Chelsea have lost 3 of their last 4 games. But again, having said that, they've beaten the Villa 10 out of their last 11 games the two clubs have met. And the Villa are without 2 of their biggest players this week. Barkley, as he's on loan from Chelsea, and Tyrone Mings is serving his suspension. But the Villa are unbeaten in 4, so this is a really tough one to call. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea home win. And our next game is the biggest clash of the weekend, where 2nd placed Everton hosts 6th place Man City. And Everton are the form side in the league with 4 solid, convincing wins on the bounce. Whereas Man City, again, who are very high up on the form table, who are unbeaten in 5 now. But when you look at the history of the two clubs against each other, Everton have only won 1 in their last 14 games. So having said that, I'm going to go for a Man City 2-0 away win. And now onto a relegation battle where 16th place Brighton hosts 15th place Arsenal. But having said that, Arsenal look like they're back after a really convincing win against Chelsea. Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe were standout players for me. They looked absolutely brilliant. Dominated Chelsea all over the park. But Brighton, the team they're playing, just can't seem to win. They're 3 draws on the bounce now, and they seem to go in the lead, and then they just seem to throw it away. I don't understand what's going on. But Danny Welbeck going against his old club could be an interesting thing to watch. But I'm going to go for an Arsenal 2-0 away win. And now on to our next game, where 16th place Burnley hosts 20th place Sheffield United. I'm going to skim over this really fast because this game, it will be boring. The 2 lowest scoring sides in the league playing against each other. Burnley, who were unlucky to miss out on a point, a couple of controversial decisions that we won't hop into against the Leeds, and Sheffield United losing 4 in their last 5 games. So I'm going to go for a Sean Dyche solid 1-0 home win. And our next game is when 9th place Southampton hosts 10th place West Ham. And these two clubs have literally got identical form. Both are winless in 3, but Southampton has scored 2 more and conceded 2 less goals than West Ham this season. And to be honest, after Southampton's boring draw and West Ham's quite lively draw against Brighton, guess what I'm going for? Another draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 dull draw. And our next game, where 19th place West Brom hosts 12th place Leeds. And this should be a top class game. The 2 leakiest defences in the league, with Leeds conceding 30 goals this season and West Brom conceding 29. But having said that, we saw a new West Brom against Liverpool, a resilient defence which I think could hold out against Leeds, and they could really counter them well. So I'm going to go for a... This is a really tough one to call, purely down to the fact that Leeds have just beaten Burnley off the back of a not so convincing win, and West Brom will be in a brilliant, really high spirits after, in recent weeks, drawing against Man City and drawing against Liverpool. So I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And our next game is where 4th place Man United host 11th place Wolves. And we all know what Man United are like recently at home. They've got really poor form. They're brilliant away, but not so great at home. But they're unbeaten in 5 after coming off the back of a really tough draw against Leicester, but a hard-earned point. And the Wolves, again, have got another point as well against Tottenham. But really, they should have, if they'd taken their chances, they just seem to be missing a striker still. If they'd taken their chances, they could have really beaten Spurs. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Spurs home win. And now onto our next game, where 2 London sides face off against each other, where Spurs host Fulham. And I can't keep watching Fulham 4-0 draws on the bounce. Scott Parker's men, man, they're so boring to watch. It's awful football. It's just boring, man. But Spurs, again, another draw, and they can't defend for 90 minutes. They go 1-0 up quite early on, and then they just defend. They should be going out. They should be beating teams like the Wolves. And now, having said that, I think Spurs will bounce back after that. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Spurs win. And just please, no, please for me, because I can't sit through another hour and a half of that absolute garbage. Now onto our final game of this week, where Newcastle host Liverpool. And to be honest, Newcastle looked absolutely awful recently, losing 2 in their last 3 games, and as well, as I mentioned last week, losing to Brentford in the Carabao Cup. And Liverpool as well looked awful against West Brom. West Brom had more shots on target than they did at Liverpool. It's bizarre, but Klopp looked absolutely fuming. So I'm telling you now, they will bounce back. Klopp will have pulled down their trousers and given them a proper spanking. I'm telling you now, I'm going to go for a 3-0 Liverpool away win at Newcastle. Big thanks for watching, guys. Please comment below your predictions, because some of you are having some absolute shockers last week. If you go back and have a look at some of your last week predictions, you were completely off the mark. I had a really good week this week, getting 2 outcomes right and 2 results right. So I'm pretty gassed this week. So yeah, let's see how I get on this week. But thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, because we're nearly at 400 subscribers. Let's try and get it before New Year. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bucket Sam, over and out.